This video is brought to you by Squarespace. Welcome back, everyone. It is that time again. It is mail time, and I'm going to share with you some projects that viewers have sent in. I'm going to go ahead and dive right into this because this is a really good batch of work today. So first up is Roots Revisited, and I don't know if you guys can see on the front cover or not. The roots here are embossed into the cover paper. This is absolutely beautifully printed. This comes to us from Nicolas Spanier. I'm going to read you a little of his note and share this book with you. He writes, "Dear Ted, my name is Nico. I used to work as a sommelier in fine dining restaurants for many years and only decided recently to turn my longtime passion of photography into my profession. I strongly believe that photographers become much more authentic and meaningful if the photographer has an understanding and respect of whatever he is taking photos of. Therefore, my focus lies on wineries, hospitality, and craftsmanship. I don't do photos as such. Ideally, I stay for a longer period of time and I try to blend in as a colleague or even a friend. I am passionate about what I'm taking pictures of, and it will always show in the quality of the photos taken. I'm sending you my first magazine. It raises a lot of eyebrows when you still rely on print media these days, but I think that especially in this fast-paced digital world, there is a place for tactile physical media that sometimes calls for a little slowness. In this respect, this magazine is not just a beautiful coffee table book and a display of my photography. The content, approach, and materials represent my philosophy and my idea of sustainability and holism. That's the reason why I send this magazine to you. There are many photography YouTubers out there, but most of them talk about new camera technology and how to improve your photography skills without actually taking good photos themselves. On the other hand, you actually take good photos. And while you talk about camera technologies, you talk as well about different approaches, about print, and about philosophies. There is actually something to gain from watching your videos. And of course, you provide a platform to fellow photographers by presenting their work. Thank you for that. Kindest regards, Nico." Nico, this is extremely well done. I love the topic. I think it's something that's a little bit rare to deal with the idea of wineries and the idea of being a sommelier. You obviously have firsthand knowledge of this. I want to get into this for just a second. I want to echo something that you said in your letter where you said it raises a lot of eyebrows when you're relying on older print media these days. And that's what I think is so special about it. I have this conversation quite a bit with friends of mine. In fact, I had one earlier today. And what's fascinating is that when you are dealing with printed media, or in this case, the magazine as you're calling it, or the book, you have a completely controlled experience of how you're presenting your work to the viewer. And you make all the decisions, you decide the sequencing, you decide the order things are going to go in, the relationship those images have with one another. And it's a really important experience that I think will always hold a special place. I think that, like you said, in the world of digital media, it is something that is extra special. You have gone the extra mile, my friend. This is absolutely beautiful. Like I said, the print quality, I just can't get over. It is really amazing. And I love the subject. It's something that is a little bit different to me. I have photographed any winery before and I was fascinated by it, but I don't know enough about the topic. You've taken us further into your world and shown us what you can do. I love the fact that you're mixing, these sort of interior shots of the winery to landscape pictures to actually close-ups of hands and grapes, but you also have beautiful portraits in here of the people that are actually producing this work. You've done an outstanding job on this, my friend. If you guys want to copy this, it is a limited edition. There are only 500 of these. I'm honored to have one. Thank you for sending it to me. He also sent, and this might be of interest to some of you, there's a set of prints he sent showing behind the scenes. And also important is this little card where he says, this is the making of short film. If you guys click on the wine bottle there, it is a QR code that will take you to a YouTube video that he has put together behind the scenes. I will also link that in the show description. This is really well done, Nico. You should be very proud of this. And if you guys want to copy this, please pick one up before it is sold out. Again, I will link it in the show description. And really nice work, man. And really appreciate you sending. I'm very flattered to get this, so thank you. Which actually brings me to another point that I want to make. I do teach a zine class, and essentially, yes, the theme of this is a zine because it's something small and workable and doable, but it is a publishing class that I do. I do these a couple times a year. They tend to sell out, and people always want to know when the next one will be. I can announce now that we have 2 coming up. So the first one I'm going to be teaching, these are online classes, by the way. First one will be in June, the other one will be in September. And so I would strongly encourage you guys, if you were interested, to pursue these quickly because they do fill up. The way I run these is these are project based. So if you have a group of photographs or a body of work that you're interested in putting into a zine, magazine, or book format, this is a really good place to do that. We do this over the course of a month. We will meet once a week on Zoom, so you can do this from home. We do the larger classes where I go over techniques that we talk about sequencing, we talk about pairings, we talk about spreads, the idea of how we group photographs together. The third week actually is where the real fun begins, because by that point you'll have some work done on your project, and we come together in small groups. And so not only will you get feedback from me, but we can also talk about your zine. You'll get feedback from your peers as well. These would be groups of like 2 or 3 people. And it's really cool and really inspiring to see the work that everybody's doing. One of the things that really impresses me about this is the range that you get across projects. No two are alike. Everybody's doing something different, and they're always inspiring. I will put the details below in the show description if you were interested. I would check that out soon, but let's move on to another project here. So next up is The Fading Room. This comes to us from Justin Emanuel, and he writes, "Dear Ted, my name is Justin Emanuel. I have been a fan of your channel since I discovered the artist series back in 2016. Your videos have introduced me to many photographers I went on to study and learn from. Fast forward to today, I've released my second photo zine, The Fading Room. This zine comes from a place that I keep returning to, where the silence felt heavier than the memory left behind. The story isn't about death as an ending, but about the in-between, the space that is suspended and waiting to cross over. Each image is a fragment of that space, dissolving as you turn the page. This project was shot in an abandoned nursing home and mental hospital. After learning about its dark history of abuse and neglect, I went to explore it with my camera. After creating this zine, I realized what had been made was kind of a map. If there are any spirits still trapped within those walls, I wanted to create a path for them, the way I find the fading room and move on. Thank you for creating the work that's inspired me for so many years. I hope to carry that inspiration forward and pass it on to others through my own work. All the best, Justin." Justin, this is really nicely done. I love the aesthetic on here, the moodiness, and I love the fact that you have kind of this concept that you're working for. It's not just a collection of shots of an abandoned building, but they're very mysterious. I love your sense of motion blur. This is one of my favorite pictures in here. You guys can see the figure coming out of the doorway. It's just really nicely done. The only thing I would say, and this is not a criticism to your photographs at all, I think they're very well done. The pacing is good. I love that we're leading somewhere with this, and it does sort of have a narrative beginning, middle, and end to it. The only thing I would watch out for, this is just a technical issue. This is very dark work, and I'm not meaning emotionally dark. Well, I guess it is, but I mean technically dark. You're dealing with low light exposures, a lot of blacks. You're printing on coated paper, and sometimes, not in all, actually, this is a really good example of what you did right with this doorway here, but there are a few of these where you start to lose a lot of detail into the blacks, and it's just something to look for when you're printing. I don't think this is like you need to redo it kind of level, but it's something to just watch for moving forward. You like a lot of high contrast work, and it's very difficult to do with print-on-demand services, but man, you've done an outstanding job with this. I love the design, I love the layout, I love the size on this. This is actually very well done, and you guys should check out Justin and get a copy of this. Highly recommended. I will put his details below. I'm telling you guys some really good work today. So I've got a couple more that I want to share with you, but real quick, I want to give a shout out to our sponsor this week, who are the always awesome folks over at Squarespace. How easy is it to build an amazing website in a matter of minutes? Squarespace has you covered. It's dead simple. Head over to Squarespace, hit get started. You can start by selecting from an impressive collection of customizable templates, or you can do what I do, build your own. Something unique because, you're not like other websites. Give your site a name. Next, you can build your homepage. We'll start with a few preset layouts just to get us going. Want to sell products like books or prints? Well, you can feature those on your homepage. Create a few more sections if you want. Let's also give it a color palette. There's a whole bunch to choose from, and just get us started. We can change this all later. Next, let's select the typography choices. Welcome to your website. Everything is set up and it's all ready for you to customize. Squarespace is built on Fluid Engine, the next generation of website design. Select Edit, and Fluid Engine allows you to drag, place, and resize any element on the page. You can snap these to a grid, you can make them float on top of one another, you can freeform however you like. You can even preview and adjust how the site looks on either desktop or mobile. The layouts are independent. Of course, you'll want a portfolio for your work. Creating an image gallery is as easy as dropping a folder of images on your web browser. Once uploaded, you can drag to resort, customize the look, and Squarespace writes all of the code for you. Everything just works and it looks fabulous. Want to sell your own prints, books, or zines? Squarespace has the capabilities to not only set up your online store and collect payments, but they also give you all the tools that you're going to need to be successful. Managing shipping and payment options, manage your orders, and engage with your customers. They even give you the tax tools that you need to keep things organized and stay compliant. You should try Squarespace for yourself. It's absolutely free, no credit card required. Just go to squarespace.com/AOP, sign up for that free trial. If you decide Squarespace is right for you, I can save you an additional 10% on your order by using offer code AOP on checkout. That's right, the code is AOP. So stop procrastinating, go build your website today. And I want to give a special shout out and thanks to Squarespace for sponsoring this video. Okay, so next up is a very interesting project called the Westborough Experiments. This comes to us from Scott Bakal. He encloses a note, and I'll read you a little bit about this project. He says, "Dear Ted, in this package you will find my new and first photo book, The Westborough Experiments. I hope you enjoyed the book. I have been watching your videos for a few years, and I felt I should send you a copy of this book in a way of thanks. Watching your videos has helped me think about photography in new ways, and your videos are always inspiring. As a preface, I have a 30-plus year career as an illustrator and couldn't be happier with the journey. I think that I've done pretty well, and as I write this, I'm working on preparing some of my illustration work to be exhibited at the Norman Rockwell Museum as part of a larger show this summer. During most of my time as an illustrator, photography and other creative outlets were constant in my life. In 1989, when I attended the School of Visual Arts in New York City, I was majoring in illustration. I took a required photography class and I absolutely loved it. I even considered switching majors. Due to financial restraints at the time, photography as a career path had to wait. I was fine with that because I love what I do. Much of that story is in this book. During the time of the pandemic, the photos in this book started to come into being. I dug up my old Pentax K1000 I had from college, I put in a few expired rolls and started shooting on film again. I was shooting digitally most and thought that maybe shooting film like I did back in the day would get me some new information about the creativity of being a photographer, and it certainly did. In 2025, after shooting with various cameras, lenses, and film stocks since the pandemic in 2020, I looked at all the shots and thought that there was something within the hundreds of photos I could put together and publish, a document of what I was doing. There were a lot of possibilities, ideas, and directions. I decided to create a book which shows exactly what I was doing, experimenting with analog photo equipment and film stocks, but also to show a visual story of a particular area and its transformations over the 5 years that I took these photos. So Scott, this is really nicely done. I love the fact that you say you're an illustrator and you come at photography from that perspective. You probably know my dad, who's also an illustrator. And congratulations on your Norman Rockwell Museum exhibition. I think that's really cool. This is very well done. I love the print quality on here. I like the fact that you've got an uncoated paper for the cover and then you move inside to a coated and it has a nice effect to it. I think the print quality is outstanding. The only thing, and this has nothing to do with the photographs that you're making, I love the concept of the whole thing of the Westborough Experiments. And I like the narrative that comes with that through the images that you're showing here. You're actually showing place over time. And I think that's something that is a really cool concept. What is a little bit foreign to me, and please do not take offense to this, but there is a lot of text in here, and I know it's part of the project, that deals with the cameras that you shot and the film stocks that you used. There's nothing wrong with that. I just think that your subject has an interest that is something that you can kind of communicate to the viewer. I think that unless you shoot film and kind of know about the cameras that you're using, that might be a little bit less, and they're both kind of presented as equals in here. It's something that I would rather kind of deal with the narrative and the story that's going on in here and what you're saying visually than necessarily what you use to do it. That being said, I do love the analog process. It's something that I don't do as much of anymore, and when I did it, I really do miss it a lot of times, and I wish I had the time to do more of it. I like the idea of film as an object and being able to shoot with that and actually have that as something that's very concrete. But man, this is really nice work. And anyway, you should be very proud of this. I will link up below. You guys should check it out. Your color work has a really interesting look to it, as does your black and white. But, the analog process does have something to do with that. You have colors that are kind of that process. And I think that's something that's really outstanding. Anyway, nicely done. I will put a link to this. And thanks for sharing, Scott. Okay, so next up is this scene. This is called London Street Photography. This comes to us from Majid Bazaei, and he writes, "Hi Ted, I hope you're doing well. I'm an Iranian photographer who moved to the UK about a year ago. The immigration process was really tough for me, and being away from my family has been hard. But what kept me going was street photography, and this is a little zine that I put together. I've been following your channel for a while, and I can't thank you enough for the inspiration. This zine is a collection of my first year of photography in London. I'd be thrilled if you could take a look at it and share your thoughts. It would mean a lot to me to have your feedback. Thank you so much for your amazing content. It has helped me more than you know." So Majid, this is very nicely done. I absolutely love your photographs in here, and I think that you've got an interesting approach to doing street photography in a place that you're not inherently from. And I think that that's interesting because it always brings a new set of eyes. I think that, you know, for any of us to be shooting in our home, it's one thing, and then to go have an impression of a whole new place is a complete other. A couple things that I want to call out. I love your photography. I think that your use of the color red is particularly interesting in here. And then also techniques that you use like subframing, where you've got heads framed into windows, is particularly effective. I really love what you're doing here. I think there's some really amazing stuff. The only critique that I have on here, and I'm trying to be careful about how I say this, but this is very common with a lot of photographers, is that we're really good at photography and we're not really graphic designers. I would work on your layout skills next, because I think you've got a collection of work here that's actually really good. I'll tell you the problems that I have with it. First of all, your photos are really big on the page, and I understand that, but we have this little thing when we get into publishing called the gutter, and pictures that dissolve into the gutter, which is this fold down the middle. In larger books, this becomes more of a problem. But the feeling that I have, we're not losing any information, like you're not spreading an image over the gutter, but I feel like the photographs are just competing with size. I think they need to breathe a little bit, and they're very big on the page. I would make them a lot smaller, center them up, allow yourself to have borders. It's okay. And then I think you're going to get better breathing and you're going to get a better read on your pictures as you go through. That being said, though, I really think very highly of your work. I think it is very nicely done. And like I said, I love the idea of approaching one city that you're not from and having kind of something different to say about it than somebody who's probably natively from London. You're just going to see it with fresh eyes. So anyway, really well done. Bicycle shots, I love them. Street photography, as I say over and over on this channel, is very difficult to do in the modern age, just because there's so much of a cliche that goes with it. I don't see any of that in your work. I think that there's definitely a nod to some of the past masters of street photography in your work, guys like Saul Leiter or even Henri Cartier-Bresson. But this is very well done. So awesome job. This has been a good day for work on the Mail Time, folks. I hope you guys are all proud. I will link up to everybody in the show description, so make sure you check out your colleagues. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments, and I will see you guys in the next video. Until then, later.